And welcome back to Pure Nebraska. Wednesdays here on our daily show, we like to put the group Common Ground in the spotlight.
This is a group of farm women working to be a resource for consumers who want to know more about how their food is grown. Joining us now to talk about a recent tour organized by Common Ground where food experts learned about topics of concern to consumers is Common Ground volunteer Deb Gangwish and registered dietitian Elaine Farley-Zoucha from Columbus. Thank you both for being here today.
Good morning.
Yeah.
Good morning.
Good
Having
to
us.
see you
Good
guys.
morning.
Yeah, so from Shelton and from Columbus, so thank you both for making the drive
Yeah.
today.
Beautiful drive. Thanks to Weatherman.
Yeah.
Good job, Brad.
Brad's feeling good now.
After all the rain, it was great to see some sun.
Good. Well, we're going to talk about this Immersion in Agriculture Innovation Tour, and it offered a chance for registered dietitians, I believe, and a chef instructor to learn about topics of concern. So tell us a little bit more about it.
Well, we had 3 Common Ground volunteers who went on this tour, and the tour was set up because there have been some consumer issues that have really risen to the top, mainly 3 of them. First one being GMOs, hormones in red meat, and antibiotics in the meat we eat. So those were the 3 main areas of focus. And in order to hit those topics really hard, we went to Zoetis. And we had a tour of Zoetis, and Dr. Galen Erickson from UNL talked with us, and then we had a panel discussion that evening in Des Moines, and the next morning visited Cowser Farms and Feedlot, and then wrapped the tour up with a visit to the Monsanto Learning Center at Huxley, Iowa.
Great. Yeah, so you did cover a lot of ground. And
We did.
I know we do have some pictures of the tour and where you guys did go, but maybe I'll turn to you, Elaine, here at this point as we look at these pictures. And what did you learn as a registered dietitian about these consumer topics like GMOs and antibiotics in livestock? What did you come away with?
Yeah, I think as a registered dietitian, you know, we get a lot of questions about the safety of our food. I have a little bit of a twist on it because I'm also a farmer's wife. So I think it was important for me to join the tour and to be able to take away some messages that, you know, farmers do a great job of keeping our food supply safe, and we want to make sure that what we're feeding our own families is safe. So the use of antibiotics, I think, was an interesting topic. Dr. Erickson did a great job about, you know, going through, you know, antibiotics are only used if necessary, and that they're cleared through the animal system by the time they go through and the processing center. So that was probably a good takeaway piece there as well. But I think probably the biggest takeaway for me was how, even as a farmer's wife, we see the kind of the distance between what people really understand about farming and what really goes on a farm. And I think there's just such a disconnect right now because there's so many generations removed. You know, we farm, but hardly any of my children's friends farm. And so it's a big, you know, they love to come out and learn about the farm and see the animals and so forth. So I think we need to do a better job as dietitians and as producers to educate people on how our food is produced.
So Elaine, what are you going to tell other moms out there who maybe have some confusion about, can I feed my kids GMOs, antibiotics? What are you going to tell them?
You know, I think it's important for moms to know that the food supply is safe. And, you know, the United States has one of the most safest food supplies out there. So just debunking those myths about GMOs and what they are and, you know, the terminology that's used, and just making sure that they understand the processes behind. And I think that's the big disconnect.
To make informed decisions.
Right. You know, and that's a big issue, is they're getting their information from non-scientific sources. So for me as a mom and as a dietitian, I think it's important to get the message out there that if you want to learn more about how your food is produced, go ask the farmer. You know, ask the farmer, ask the ones that work really hard to ensure that the food supply that they're providing their own family is safe.
And Deb, we're running out of time, but you basically served as a resource on the tour.
We did.
The Common Ground volunteers were a resource on the tour.
But I must say, this was an incredible chance to form alliances with the food experts. You know, we're on the farm doing what we need to do to produce the food, the feed for livestock. We're doing our job, but to be able to connect with professionals and to hear what they're dealing with consumers and to have this scientific background that registered dietitians have is phenomenal. It was a great opportunity for Common Ground volunteers as well.
Great. All right.
Okay, and you guys are going to stick around.
I think so.
Yes.
Okay.
Both of you are going to cook.
Yeah.
I
We
think
are.
so.
Okay, this is going to be good.